Hello, Grizzlies, and welcome back to another episode of Grizzly True Crime. My name is Gisela K, and today we're going to dive into an abduction case. Thank you for being here, members. I see you guys are confused and excited about the new emojis. I worked very hard today on designing a whole fleet of new emojis. You know, I'd like to do that here and there. So I see. Welcome also to my mods, as I say. Soleil was asking, what's this one? The one you asked about is Dexter. So we've got the DNA one. The bunny one is for Nerdy Bunny. Okay, so the bunny is essentially a trigger warning. That's what that one is. Then, of course, the others are self-explanatory, right? The little Grizzly logo. We've got the leave your DNA. And yes, I wanted the logos to be more uniform. So it's like neon bears. I hope you like it. I hope you don't hate it. I hope you love it, actually. I've been so busy thriving in Beyonce. I have been so busy. It's true. I don't know. Did you guys see the trailer to this stream that I'm doing today? Were you able to watch that? Because I couldn't see it on my own video now. I watched it earlier. But let me know. If not, don't worry. I'm going to quickly show you and then we'll get on with it.
Scene with one adult male, one adult female, and one juvenile male. Our main concern right now are the two children we cannot find.
Scary dude, huh? Scary, scary dude. So we're going to get into it. Don't worry if you've never heard of this case. We're going to go, of course, from the top to the bottom. Presentation time. Of course, I've been preparing that for you guys as well. Just know that I will, as always, cover this case rather gently. I don't go graphic. In this case, you could go very graphic, but I'm not going to go graphic, okay? Even though we have the nerdy bunny here, and you've got the. So if you use the bunny members, it means like trigger warning, okay? Between ourselves, there is also the triangle, yes, for trigger warning, and you guys asked for a fury emoji, so there's a fury one now too. I need more members to make more emojis, so if you want me to add more things to this, let's hope more members join. All right. Okay, welcome, Wayne. That's so cool. You followed me from Popcorn Planet. Very different topics here, but I hope you will be entertained and that you'll enjoy the Grizzly community. We welcome you. Okay, so here we go. It's presentation time. Now this story happened in 2005. So it is an older case. The reason I've decided to do it is because a brand new People's Magazine 2-hour premiere has just been released about Shasta. Now this is hard for me because that in my language, okay, in South Africa that's Groene, in Dutch it's Groene, but you guys said Shasta Groene. Okay, so I'm going to say Groene for this video because that is her name and that is how she says it. So Shasta Groene has now been featured in this 2-hour premiere with People's Magazine to talk about her story. She's already been interviewed before and she's busy writing a book. But I found it interesting that, now I haven't seen the documentary because as soon as I go to the link, it tells me this is not available in your country. And I'm like, damn it. So I've got the VPN, but I think I don't know if I can get on to Discovery Plus. That's where it is to see it. So if you guys see it, let me know. If, I don't know, if it's good, let me know. I hope it is. Thank you so much, Gregory Sterner. I love all you do. Are there words under fury? The word under fury, it's like crime scene do not cross tape. So that's what I put there. Can't read it, but love it. That is awesome. Thank you so much for your $10 super sticker and for supporting the channel. It's because of you guys that I can do this full time. And I'm very happy to be here with you. And I hope I do a good job for you guys. So Shasta Groene. These are just quick bullet points on this first slide here. She was abducted on May 15th, 2008, 2005. You know me and my typos. Me and my freaking type. And I check and double check and triple check. And then when I'm here, I get all embarrassed. But anyway, it was in 2005. Now I'm doubting myself. Wait, it's 2005. Groene. Sis, mistakes right off the bat. Yes, 2005. What is this? What is this? Gisela! I can shout it myself. Don't worry, I will later. Okay, May 15th, 2005, from a home in Wolf Lodge, Idaho, by the Night Vision Killer. Don't get me started on cool names for killers. I hate it when they do that, but they do it. I do know that my 4 books as well are Ted Bundy, all the names, all the names. So I really have to say them. Jeffrey Dahmer, the Milwaukee Monster, John Wayne Gacy, the Killer Clown. I know. That's like what the books had to be called. But I hate it when they give them these cool names, like the Night Vision Killer. Like, oh my word. Joseph Duncan. Now, the killer murdered her mother, Brenda, her stepfather, Mark Mackenzie, and her elder brother, Slade. Wow. He took Shasta when she was 8 and her brother when he was 9 and tortured them for 7 weeks before then killing Dylan. So that is what we're dealing with. Trigger warning. What did Shasta do to survive? We're going to look into that. Here comes the trigger warning. 18 plus disclaimer. All Grizzly True Crime content is for adults only and may contain themes that some individuals find triggering, offensive, or disturbing. The intent is not to disrespect viewers or any individual spoken about herein. Viewer discretion is advised. Okay, so now we all know it is a hectic case, but don't worry. We're going to do it with class. Okay, here we go. Thank you for already leaving your DNA. Thank you so much, Doodlebug. So here's a picture of her when she was little. Oh, my word. My heart just breaks when I see this picture, honestly. There's a quote that says, she has vivid memories of the night that Joseph Duncan III, a violent, I'm going to just say it, sexual predator, out on parole. So yes, he's been a criminal since he was 15 years old. Like, this guy has a huge rap sheet, and yes, he's a serial killer. Spoiler alert. Although it's not actually a spoiler, it's actually a celebratory alert. He has died. But yes, so this guy was out on parole, and then he sneaked into her family's home in rural Wolf Lodge, Idaho, and killed her mother, stepfather, and one of her brothers, all while making her and her 9-year-old brother wait outside on the lawn. Can you believe it? It's terrible. Yes. Yeah, exactly. Stop paroling these monsters. They cannot get better. And even when he had, we're going to get to it later. Sorry, I don't want to jump the gun. But even when he got the death sentence and all that, there were all kinds of appeals and, the usual process and showing he's been a good boy, though. He's been on best behavior. Like, you cannot let those people out. Thankfully, that wasn't considered. But, I'm still just saying, wow. If you're talking about the dad, yes, he is. He's a throat cancer survivor, and he talks through a device. But no spoilers, okay, guys? Let's go through the timeline, especially for people who have never heard about the case. So this was the address of the house, and yes, we'll do some map time. 12559 East Frontage Road. Ooh, now again, I've got it open here. Just hold on 1 second. I'll say it correctly now. Coeur d'Alene. I've literally got in Google how to pronounce that word. Coeur d'Alene. That's where they were. Yes. Okay, Coeur d'Alene. So we continue with the timeline. April 2005. Minnesota authorities released Joseph Duncan III, 42, a high-risk SO, on a $15,000 bond. He stopped at a Walmart. I mean, this was his number one priority when he was released on parole, was to not be in contact with his parole officer and head straight for Walmart to buy night vision goggles and a video camcorder. And they found some very disgusting things on that camcorder. He then rented a 2005 red Grand Jeep Cherokee to use for travel in Missouri. On April 27th, he stole a set of license plates, and on May 4th, the Jeep was reported as a stolen vehicle because he stole the license plate, then put it on the Jeep, and then the Jeep was reported as a stolen vehicle. By May 2005, Joseph had made his way to the Wolf Lodge area in Idaho, spotting the Groene family in Coeur d'Alene. He zoned in on Dylan and Shasta. You know why? Because he saw them playing outside in their swimsuits. What a sick man. Oh my word. Wow. And he was like, okay, those two. And that is what a terrible, violent predator he was, that he just saw those two kids and he thought, okay, cool, I'm going to take those two and wipe out the entire family. Like, that's how his brain worked. Wow. Or didn't work. So he zoned in on them using his night vision goggles to spy on them and to get to know the layout of the rural home. Also then stalking the family and, their movements and trying to figure out how he would attack to get those children. Rob, I ask myself the same thing. Why is it that Walmart is referenced a lot in these cases? It's interesting. I mean, it's like one would think it could be like McDonald's, right? Because everyone hangs out there, but Walmart? Why is Walmart? It's so funny. It's always Walmart's always got a foot in the door here with these true crime cases, huh? Damn. Yeah, he'd already planned things before he was even released. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. Rambling Rome, welcome. I'm so sorry you didn't get a notification. I'm glad you found me, though. Damn. All criminals make a stop at Walmart. Gosh. Yeah, and they let him out. Exactly. Bill, thank you so much for your email that you sent me. I'm very excited to discuss that tomorrow in the Delphi case. Thanks, Amber. Okay, so I'll continue on. On May 15th, the Groene family attended a barbecue in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. Now, that was the last time that Brenda, Slade, and Mark Mackenzie were seen alive. Brenda, remember, Shasta's mother, Slade, her brother, Mark Mackenzie, her stepfather. At this barbecue, Slade actually mowed the neighbor's lawn, and then payment was promised the next day because the guy, which was, it's in the community, they went for a barbecue there, didn't have cash on him on the day. So he's like, you know what, I'll swing by tomorrow morning and bring you the cash. So that was the agreement. That night, Shasta's mother woke her up and told her that there was a man in the house and she needed to get up. And she was terrified. And of course, so was Shasta, so was Dylan. They were taken to the family room where they saw the man who had zip tied their stepfather and brother's wrists and ankles and then put duct tape over their mouths. He then told Brenda to get down on her knees while he pointed a shotgun at her. Please know this is the tamest version of the story I could possibly tell. Shasta and Dylan had their hands and feet bound and were carried outside to wait on the lawn. I mean, that, even just visualizing that haunts me, just to think of that these two kids, age 8 and 9, were sitting outside on the grass, looking at their house, not knowing what's going on inside, and just hearing, as Shasta said, thumping noises and groaning and things like that. Wow. So, goodness. Shasta and Dylan were then outside, and then on May 16th, so they were outside, and then of course, the rest of the story is that after the 3 family members inside the house were killed, then Joseph took the 2 kids. So we'll get to that. May 16th, 2005, the neighbor who owed Slade the money arrived the next morning at their home to pay him. So he kept his word, as he would. And then he noticed that their car doors were open. And he saw a roll of duct tape in the back of one, and he thought that was really strange. And he heard the dogs barking nonstop, so he thought that was really strange. So he called 911. When the police got to the home, they discovered the bound bodies of Brenda and Slade in the kitchen and Mark Mackenzie's in the living area. All 3 had been bludgeoned to death with a hammer. Oh my word. There was no sign of Dylan or Shasta, and an Amber Alert was issued. It's so terrible. Oh my word. I'm sorry to do a quick segue. I just want to say, in the Gonzalo Lopez case, he killed that family of 5. I thought he shot them, but no, he stabbed them all. Can you believe that? I was so shocked to read that. So it reminds me of, just when I'm reading this, I thought of that because I'm like, whoa, like this is 3 people killed in their home. Wow, with a hammer. Like, what in the heck? Anyway, so the Amber Alert was issued. Here are some pictures so that we're all visual learners over here, right? Most of us. So we've got Brenda Groene, Shasta's mother, Mark Mackenzie, her stepdad, Slade Groene, her elder brother, and the three of them were all murdered in the home. And then her and Dylan were taken by this horrible guy. Wow. Let me know, especially whenever you're watching this, and welcome to Replay Crew. If you are watching this as a replay, let me know in the comments if you would like me to cover some abduction cases, because there sure are quite a few very interesting ones. So let me know. This is sorry, I don't want to get distracted. This is the house. It was eventually demolished, which is also sad, but I totally understand why. It's in a very rural area. It was unoccupied after this whole terrible tragedy. And yeah, there's the guilty dude. There's the first look of him over there. I know you saw him on the thumbnail, but wow. This guy, gosh. Okay. Oh, I just quickly want to see something. Is it this one? Yeah. Sorry, I was just looking at this other abduction case. I don't want to say the name right. I think it's Jamie Kloss. In this case, is similar to that one. So if you want me to dive into that one next, and if you'd like me to do a deep dive on this specific serial killer that we're discussing tonight, let me know as well. So Stephen Groene can be pictured here. This picture is taken from after Shasta was rescued, but I'm just showing you so that you can see who's who, right? And then on the right hand side there, you've got Stephen and one of his sons, Jesse Groene. And Jesse was actually in jail at the time for shoplifting and like breaking a prison door and all kinds of other petty crimes when the murders occurred. Wow. You say yes to both. Okay, thought criminal. He looks like the dad next door on that one. Yeah. Okay, you guys seem to be all for abduction cases. I find them absolutely fascinating, of course, especially to me, it gives like hope of survival. It's absolutely terrible, and living with that trauma is horrendous. But the survival aspect to me is absolutely fascinating. So let's continue on here. Wow. Now, toxicology reports showed that Brenda and Mark had marijuana and methamphetamine in their system. The police speculated that the family was targeted by a gang or for a drug deal gone bad. So again, it makes me think a little bit of the Delphi case, where like, could it be a drug deal? Could it be this? But in this case, it was literally a monster released on parole who did this. So it just reminds me that sometimes, as much as we can speculate all the logical things, sometimes it really could just be a terrible monster that just got released. Something like that. On May 18th, the police named Robert Roy Lutner, Concrete Bob, as he was known in the community, as a person of interest. He actually owed Brenda and Mark $2,000 and had been at their home on the day of the murders. He turned himself in, knowing that his criminal history and activities on that day looked really bad. He took a polygraph test and passed and was cleared as a suspect. The FBI and other local agencies also joined in the search, offering a $100,000 reward for information leading to the safe return of 8-year-old Shasta and 9-year-old Dylan Groene. On May 19th, Stephen Groene, the biological father of the children, pleaded on television for the safe return of Dylan and Shasta. On the same day, the owner of a sporting goods store in Bonners Ferry, Idaho, called in a tip. So that, what I learned out of that is pleading on TV could help. Not in the Chris Watts case, of course. No. That was fake pleading. But actually pleading on TV and just showing missing persons' faces, you just never know who would actually call in a tip. So that is why I think that's important. So let's continue to do that. Okay, on the same day, as we said, the owner of a sporting goods store in Bonners Ferry, Idaho, called in a tip. He said that he had spotted a man with 2 children who fit their description, who was driving a white van with Washington license plates. Now, that van was never tracked down. So scary thought, like, was it related at all, or is that someone else now? Was it just some guy with 2 kids, his own kids? Or what if it was something else that was never caught? I don't know. My mind goes all places when I read that. Okay. On June 1st, 2005, a federal arrest warrant is issued for Joseph Duncan III in Minneapolis. Shasta said that Joseph tied her and Dylan to the floor of his Jeep and drove with him to Montana, telling them the rules. They were to call him daddy. Oh my word. And they were not to try to escape, otherwise he would kill them. Can you imagine an 8-year-old and 9-year-old with this terribly scary man, and he's like, you will call me daddy and you will not try to escape? That is very scary. Wow. He took them to a campsite in Lolo National Forest near St. Regis, Montana, where they stayed for 7 weeks. He essayed and abused both Dylan and Shasta. He also showed them the hammer that he had used to kill their mom, brother, and stepfather. So on one hand, he showed them the hammer and threatened them. And on the other, sometimes he apologized. He's like, man, I'm sorry. It was wrong to kill your parents. Like, wow. Deep breaths, everyone. This was where he stayed with Shasta and Dylan at a Lolo National Forest campsite. So that was the cabin. The picture is from the Associated Press. Look what he looks like here. Oh my goodness. What? It's so scary. Yeah, they must have been absolutely terrified. Yes, exactly. Sure. Okay. Then we continue on. So this is a trigger warning. This is a little rough, okay? But I did it gently as possible. Shasta said that he would sometimes be extremely cruel. Other times he would be warm and friendly, even apologizing for murdering their parents. He sometimes blamed God for his evil ways. Okay, so he's a blame shifter, that we know. Joseph, whose nickname was Jet, started focusing most of his abuse towards Dylan. He was physically very violent towards him. So see there, I don't have to explain. I read a whole bunch of stuff, but I don't have to explain how graphic it was. He was just extremely graphically violent with Dylan. He told Dylan that he was a coward for being afraid of the dark. One day, as Jet was looking for beers in a bin, he says he accidentally shot Dylan in the stomach. So Shasta said she actually ran into the room and saw Dylan crying, and he had a wound in his stomach. Then this Joseph guy told Shasta that the first shot was just a mistake, but Shasta said it wasn't. He then shot Dylan at point blank range in the head in front of Shasta. Like, she said she didn't, I think this is on the next slide. She said she didn't talk much after that. Wow. Yeah, he was projecting his anger to the poor boy. Yes, exactly. Rainbow Bright. He found his victim to pick on. That's just terrible. Wow. Yeah, you're listening. Okay. Yes, Caroline. Sure. Okay, so we continue on. So she had to witness her brother being shot right in front of her. And then she had to witness Jet, which is the killer, right? That's his nickname, burning Dylan's body, clothing, and other bloodstained items, and then he dumped the ashes into a pipe draining into a river. Thankfully, on July 4th, 2005, because of what Shasta told the FBI, they were actually able to go back to that location and find evidence that could be tested for DNA, and his remains were found. Wow, that really helped to convict the guy. Shasta remembers not speaking much after that, of course. Jet then asked Shasta how she wanted to die, either by strangulation or gunshot like her brother. He explained that the second option would be painless. Nothing, she's only 8 years old. And in her mind, she's picking now between strangulation and a gunshot. So she picks the first option, strangulation, because in her little mind, she thought that maybe there was a way that she could survive that, or it could buy her some time. She knew that at least then she would be able to fight, versus if she said, no, I'll go for the gunshot, she knew it would just be over. He would just pull the trigger like that. But she also explained that, of course, witnessing how he did it to her brother, that was, triggering is the wrong word. It was just overly triggering. She was terribly afraid of that. So she also chose the other option because that was an unknown to her at the time. Well, she said, I honestly have no idea what gave me strength or hope, but there was something inside me that was pushing me to say or do certain things to be on Joseph Duncan's good side and earn his trust. I believe that was my mom's spirit guiding me. She wanted me to get out safe and alive. I felt like I was getting help from her spiritually, but there were times when I really thought, how long am I going to be alive? Whew, very, very intense thoughts for an 8-year-old. Very, very hectic. Almost unsurvivable trauma. It's amazing, that she survived this. And that is why. That is what I look for in these abduction stories of like, how did you do it? And to just know, and I try to pick out lessons, to just know, she says, I don't know what gave me the strength or hope. There's something inside me that's pushing me to say or do certain things, to be on his good side. So survival mechanisms kick in sometimes, you can't always explain how one would react in a situation. But man, she was so smart at 8 years old to manipulate this guy and survive him. Wow. Unfortunately, Lorray, he's dead now. And not even, he died on death row of brain cancer. I don't know. Does that feel like justice? I know often in true crime, if we look at the villain, the killer, we're like, if they die, then we're like, oh, well, it's justice because they're no longer alive. But it doesn't quite feel like it. Although Shasta did say she's breathing a lot easier since he's no longer on the planet. I'm sure if you know that person is still breathing on this planet, there must be that fear in the back of your mind of him getting out, or like, well, as we saw with Casey White getting out, we were all like, what's he going to do? What's going to happen? There must be such a fear of like, what if he gets out? Like, he's actually still out there? Or what if he tries to contact me or whatever it is? So July 2nd, 2005, everything changed. Jet had every intention of strangling Shasta. He lay her down on the ground and put a rope around her neck. Then she looked at him and said, please don't, Jet. So sometimes they spell his nickname with just one T and other times with two, so I'm not too sure. But please don't, Jet, she said softly. He immediately loosened his grip on her and started crying. I don't know why, when you call me that, I can tell you really care about me, he said. Wow, that's interesting, right? Damn. Shasta said, at that point, I knew that I'd gained a lot of trust with him. I was pretty much going to do whatever it took to survive. At approximately 1:30 p.m. on July 2nd, 48 days and 7 weeks after the case began, Shasta was spotted in a Denny's store with Joseph. He'd asked her now after this attempted strangulation and then saying, wow, you must really care about me. He asked her if she was hungry. And when she said, not really, he offered to take her for milkshakes. So the way that I read it, because they quoted him, was like, come on, let's go for milkshakes. Come on. Like, wow. What a scary dude, right? He offered to take her for milkshakes and then said that he wanted her to meet his mother. I mean, damn, I could spend days just unpacking this psychology. And no, I'm not a mental health professional. I used to always on my podcast say, I'm not a mental health professional, I'm a mental patient. But maybe that's got a bad ring to it. I don't know. But, I'm a patient. I'm not a mental health professional. And just to unpack that she called him by his nickname, it completely triggered another side of him. He softened. And then his thought process is, let's go for milkshakes. And do you want to meet my mom? That's so crazy. This is like, wow, it reminds me of the Red Dragon from the Hannibal series, which is a fictional character. I know, but like, damn, the mommy issues are big time. Like so bad. And she agreed to it. She's like, okay, because of course she's surviving. And she's like, yeah, sure, let's go. Like, whoa, anything to get out of that cabin as well, right? It is like out of a movie, right? Wow. Jet had every intention. Oh, sorry, I said it twice. Jet had every. I'm like saying it intensely again. I'm like, oh my word. Hold on. Yes, 1:30. Sorry, I am here. Wait, now I forgot how to say this. Coeur d'Alene. Hold on. Coeur d'Alene. Okay. So, at 1:30 p.m., July 2nd, yes, Denny's store. Oh yeah. He asked if she's hungry. Sorry, I'm just not following what I wrote here. And when she said not really, okay, yes. So the Coeur d'Alene Denny's staff and patrons immediately took notice of Shasta because, of course, her face had been seen everywhere in the community on flyers and billboards. Now, of course, everyone was worried, like, where's her brother? But when they all saw her, they're like, oh my word, I think that's the girl. So, wow, how I read even some of the transcripts from interviews that they had with the waitresses there. It was really quite a tense situation, because they were all quite certain it was her, and they like took as long as possible to make that milkshake. Really stalling while calling the police and just waiting for them to come out. Sorry if I'm stumbling over my words a little bit. I suppose these cases, they're difficult, huh? I've always told you guys, like, cases involving children, they really are difficult, but I think it's important as a survival story, you know? Okay. Shasta has said that she realized after gaining some of his trust, she could continue to manipulate him to survive. I would tell him that I wanted to show him all the places I grew up in, where I went to school because I loved school, where I used to hang out, basically show him my life because I had no family. That made him feel good because he felt that I trusted him. He felt that he was learning about my life and getting to know a vulnerable part of me. I was just trying to manipulate him, she said. So it's the early signs of Stockholm syndrome, I would say, but also not, because she's conscious that I'm just doing what I can to manipulate this guy to survive. Now, when they got to the Denny's, yeah, Shasta looked at a man. So she looked up at this man, and this man looked at her, and like he nodded his head, and then she nodded her head, and he was like, whoa. So people inside the Denny's had called 911, and people outside had also called. Now, that man, yes, told the waitress, who then called the police. I've seen two different stories. When the police arrived, they approached Shasta and Joseph and then asked her what her name was. She said Katie, but then Joseph told her that she was allowed to tell them her real name. Now, I do not know why there's such conflicting stories, because I've seen two versions of this Denny story. Like, literally, if you look at 50 articles, it's split in half of what happened here. One says Joseph took her to the toilet and left her there and was like kind of pacing. And then when he realized, oh crap, the police are here, he left. And then the police had to find him for a few days. The other versions say this one, what I wrote here, is that the police approached the table and kind of like, oh, so like, what's your name? And then as soon as she said, my name is Shasta Groene, they handcuffed him. So if you have a lot of knowledge on this case, please let me know, because damn, I would like to confirm which story it was. It was very hard for me to figure out exactly which one was true. He shared the opposite of Stockholm syndrome. It seems more like bad guy had some kind of Stockholm syndrome connection to his victim or captive. Interesting, yes. Good point. Wow. But imagine if he's like literally like, you could tell them your real name. What? This guy. So the waitress said she seemed very closed off. That's also because she was just watching this kid that she thought, whoa, that looks like Shasta. That looks like the lady from, the girl from the billboards. Oh, my word. So she was watching and she's like, yeah, she seems very closed off. Most children that we get in, if they do come into a Denny's that late, so also late at night, they're passing through town, trying to go home or headed home. And you give them crayons and a mask and they light up and get all excited and say, thank you. And she didn't. Joseph was detained on kidnapping charges. He was eventually convicted in the state of Idaho for kidnapping and murdering the 3 victims in Coeur d'Alene, for which he was given 6 life sentences. Whoa. In federal court for kidnapping Shasta and Dylan Groene and murdering Dylan, for which he was given 3 death sentences, and in the state of California for kidnapping and murdering Martinez, which is a whole different one. So I'm just giving you a little snippet here of this guy was a serial killer. So this is just one part of his story, which is scary to think about. I appreciate you, Bertel. I appreciate all the replay crew. You could also go back and just watch it at 1.25 speed. I want to thank Gisela for always being respectful and kind, and she put such hard work into her investigations and presentations. Thank you so much. Yeah, she looks so small in that picture. I know, right? Shame. Yes. Okay, but JDR, Stockholm syndrome, I know a thing or two about it. It's like literally when you develop an attachment to your captor in order to survive. It is to survive. It's a coping mechanism. I'm not really arguing with you. I'm just saying she was trying to survive, yes. But Thankfully, he took her to the Denny's in the early days of her learning how to manipulate him. Imagine if it went on and on and on. That's a scary thought. Caught up super speed. Very nice. Yes, thank you for being here, everyone. Exactly. Whoa. So Shasta has struggled with survivor's guilt. She said she struggles so much because she told Dylan the whole time, don't worry, we are going to make it out of here alive. And then he was shot. So she does struggle with survivor's guilt, PTSD, addiction, eating disorders, and depression since she was rescued. She's writing a book about her story and is just featured on a new 2-hour episode of People Magazine Investigates, where she shares more about her life. It's on Investigation Discovery and streaming on Discovery Plus. She lives in Boise, is that how we say that? Idaho, with her husband, Michael, and their 4 sons, all of whom are under the age of 6. She's currently expecting their 5th child, another boy, who's due in August. Damn, she said only boys. That's also fascinating to me. When people have lots of kids and it's just like all girls or all boys, like, what? Wow. Exactly. We are going to do map time, then we'll see. But you'll see how close it was also where they were camping. Goodness. Due to the time difference, I'm generally in the replay team too. Sima, where are you watching from? Let me know. This is the latest I can go because then I start at 11 p.m. my time and I usually finish around midnight. And then it takes me an hour or two to just like wind down. I'm so hyper and excited after every live stream. I can't help it. So then I go to bed at 2, 1 or 2, you know. Oh my word. Not a good thing. Okay. So, boys. Boise. Oh, really? Okay, wait. Pronounce Boise. I'm using Google pronunciation. That's my new solution. Okay, very nice. Boise. Very nice, everyone. Thanks, Google, as well. Wow. Okay. So she lives in Boise, Idaho, with her husband, Michael, and their 4 sons. Okay. So I just wanted to say it right. Albo's mom says, yes, please don't go later. I have matchsticks in my eyes as it is. Yeah, me too. No, I'm okay right now. But normally I can't go later than this. This is like the best time I can do. She's sharing her story in hopes it will empower other victims of violence and serve as her own catharsis. You're not your past. Every day is a new chapter, she said. See, now that's very inspiring for all of us. No matter what we've been through, you're not your past. Every day is a new chapter. I love that. The Groene family home was eventually demolished. I wish I could have pinpointed the exact date it was. They say after Joseph Duncan received his final sentence, but like, you know how that goes when it's like a sentence, another one, and it's appealing, and then this. So I couldn't figure out exactly which year it was demolished, but it was demolished. She went back to school after 1 year of not being in school and being in recovery. And then in 2014, she had some run ins with the law, but says that being sent to juvenile detention saved her life. So, you know, as the article says, she has unfortunately had some run-ins with the law, but it's from, you know, being an addict. So that to me, it makes sense. Like, man, that amount of trauma I don't know. I feel sorry for her. I really do. I mean, a lot of these cases, like we looked at the Joseph Fritzl one before. Oh my word. How is it expected that his daughter, if you don't know about that case, I've got a full podcast episode on it on Patreon. So to think that Elizabeth and all her children are just like out and about and just need to survive, just like, hey, welcome to the world. I don't know. I just feel like it's so hectic to survive with all this. The trauma lives in your body. You know, it's not just in your brain. Have you guys experienced that? It's not just my experience. It's like literally I've researched this, right? It lives in your body, and that's the worst part. Sometimes if you get triggered, your actual physical body gets triggered more than even your mind. So that's just, it's very, very difficult. So I can understand why so often victims of severe trauma would self-harm or find ways to numb themselves or just to like clock out a little bit, you know? Yes. I'm so glad that you like it. Thank you. I worked so hard on that today. Oh, thank you so much. Bertel says, you're most welcome. I'm only speaking the truth. These are very intense and sensitive events that you present, but you do it very well. Thank you so much. In Istanbul. Okay. You live in Istanbul. You can arrange for all of us to the live streams whenever it's good for you. But what's the time there now? Sorry to get distracted. Istanbul time. Is it the same time as me? Oh, wait. So you're 1 hour ahead of me. Okay. That makes sense. Wow. Okay, let's see what Thriving and Beyond says. For sure, I was held up at gunpoint by two men in 1999 and had tremors in my body until midnight. The body reaction doesn't forget, survival reaction. Yeah, and what I mean with PTSD, often people think, PTSD is like, oh my word, I've heard a song, it's triggered me, that's it. But like the trauma, sometimes you don't even understand why you feel a certain way, why you can be in such a dark space, but it's like the trauma is in your body. I don't know how else to say that. Yes, I feel sorry for her too. The amount of trauma she went through is unimaginable. We understand her. We get her. Exactly. Wow. We never forget. No. So I don't really say forgive and forget. I would say forgive and release because you can never forget. It's impossible. This is why I like the movie The Vow, because that's about a lady who lost all her memory from a head injury. And I'm like, wow, I want that. I know that sounds a bit dark, but I want that. Could we just control or delete all that? Thanks. Just keep from June 2021 forward, where I started Grizzly True Crime. That'd be great. Oh my word. Yes, this killer also videotaped of her brother, and the jury had to watch it. It is horrendous. That trial must have been absolutely horrendous. We'd love to go to Istanbul. Yeah, Dave. Whew. Yeah, we never forget, and it shapes all of our future days and nights. Yeah, forgive and release, not forgive and forget. Also, then we wouldn't learn about all these like maybe toxic bonds, things like that. If we forgive and forget, we don't want to forget. We actually want to forgive, get wise. So forgive and release. Okay. Detective Sergeant Brad Maskell, who worked the case, has never forgotten it. He said that if she had not been found, or both of them right, he would still be looking for her today. I told my boss that I'm either going to retire or die, or you're going to have to fire me because I'm not going to stop working on this case, he said. So this is a picture of him on the left. And then he said, when I was sitting across the table from him, I sometimes felt as though I was literally talking to the devil. I mean, he simply had no emotion of remorse whatsoever. Yeah, we wouldn't. Thank you, Kelsey. We wouldn't expect anything other than that, right? Where is she now? She's 25 years old now. She lives in Boise, Idaho, with her husband and 4 children, and she's expecting another child in August. Another son. 5 boys. See, wise, I think all of us here are trauma survivors. Don't you think? I feel like that's what we all have in common, unfortunately. But it's all good. We're all here together. Okay, so here's pictures of this guy. Oh my word. This monster died on death row on March 28th, 2021, from brain cancer, age 58. Police found sickening videos and photos that he kept, as well as a blog that he had documenting his crimes. Wow. So terrible. Elbow's mom. I can't walk under trees from being attacked in a forest as a child. It's certain types of trees, and it just creeps up on me and bang, I freeze and can't breathe. That's the thing. That's the thing. I hear you. I feel you. I understand. Brain cancer is very painful. Apparently, when they checked on him, when he's had complaints or whatever, he had stage 5 brain cancer. So while they say, I can't believe that he went so quickly, well, he was in a terrible stage of brain cancer when they found out he even had it. Yeah, we have each other. We're the best, most kind community ever. Nice, right? Brain cancer karma. So I say here, keep shining, Shasta. Now, the emoji that you see at the bottom, the little butterfly, which is the new members emoji, that one I've made to represent hope for all these cases. That represents hope to me. Okay, the butterfly, because Gabby Petito, Naomi Arion, all these cases we covered where we like really wanted to represent hope or memory and rainbows and things like that. The butterfly, I don't know, it means a lot on this channel, right? And I just wanted to make that, even though a lot of those cases ended absolutely terribly, we never lose hope. And as Mr. Grizzly says, there's always a way. I like that positivity. Damn. Shasta, I say keep shining Shasta. Shasta has a tattoo of her mother's name on her arm, and she and her remaining family still celebrate the birthdays of those who were killed. She's currently 25 years old. I mean, she's only 25. Thank you for sharing all the butterflies. Can you believe it? After all that, like listening to this entire story, and it is so intense. And to think that right now she's only 25, she's got a whole life ahead of her, which is amazing. I'm just like, whoa, this really happened to her very, very young. Huh? Nice butterflies. Thanks, Rob. Whew, yes. Okay, so I think that is the end of my presentation there. So now, what time is it, everybody? Do you know what time it is? Hold on, let me get it ready. It is map time. All right, so we got the map open right now. Thank you all for being here. I really appreciate it. So the first point, hold on. Let's just zoom out of it. St. Paul is where he was released on parole, and then he traveled around Minnesota in that red Jeep, and then he changed the license plate numbers, and then he moved on. So he actually traveled pretty far after being released on parole, which I don't think he was allowed to do at all. Look at it go. Oh my word. And look at this map time. I was just so shocked how close everything is, like where he was hiding with them. Bill, thank you for your $3 super sticker. You're like, map time. Yes. All right. We lighten the mood with map time, right? Okay, so hold on. I just want to see. This is the Denny's. Yeah, okay. So this, wait. No, this is the house. 12559 East Frontage Road. Yes. Yeah. This is where they lived. This was the Denny's where she was found. And he literally took them. I mean, it's not that close. I'm going to take out the first point now. But it's still close-ish. So it's not right under the nose, but I'm still like, whoa, he didn't even go that far. But yes, he went in here. I suppose that would be difficult to track, huh? Wow. Goodness. So if we go from it's 157 miles in total from the Denny's to that place, which would be, yeah, I guess it's a 4-hour drive almost. So it makes sense. It's pretty far. Okay, it is pretty far. When I looked at it, I'm like, oh my word, it's quite close. But now when I look at it again, I'm like, okay, it's not that close. I just sometimes you can't believe that people are, passing out flyers and the billboards are up and they're really looking, and then like they are out there. Unfortunately, this monster killed Dylan in the process. So it's just so bad. Like Shasta was the only surviving member of a home family. She still has her biological dad, and now of course she's married, she's got her own kids, and she's still got Jesse as well. But wow. Thank you. Well, that's the thing. If you guys want me to talk more about him, sorry, I'm like peeping over here. Let me know if you want me to do another episode on him. I don't know if we do want to focus on him. We could just move on to another abduction case, and maybe you could just you choose. Let me know if you want to, like in the comments afterwards, and I'll look at what majority are saying. Either we could do a part 2 and kind of deep dive him and all the crimes that he committed and all the other victims, things like that, or we can move on to another abduction case. Well, okay, so here in Lolo National Forest, is that how I say that? Somewhere here is where that cabin, sounds so scared to say cabin in the woods was, but it was there. Across the line, Idaho, Montana. Ooh. What's up, Ricky? Nice to see you here. He wasn't from Idaho. He just traveled there. I mean, he escaped, not escaped, he was released on parole from the other side of the country. So if you just go back a few seconds or so, you'll see that. But yes, so the home was literally here. So let's look at that area because they say in a rural area. So you can see it was. Oh, there's a Denny right here too. Really? No, that's not Denny's. That's not Denny's. No. I labeled that because I thought this was the Denny's. But this was where the home was, which has now been destroyed. So if you look here, you can see it is a very rural area. But to think that this serial killer was out like night vision goggles around this area looking at their home, that is really scary. Wow. I think just the thought of someone staring at you with night vision goggles is really scary. Like, why does Walmart sell those? What do people need them for? Is it for hunting or what is it? I don't know. It feels like, why do they sell those? This is where the Denny's was. Denny's. Yes. Let's see if we can put the little man down. Ooh. Put him. Go, little man. How does it look now? Okay, go here. Yeah. This is where that footage that you saw, where she's just like walking around in that trailer that I shared, was from the Denny's. Shame. And she did look so small. Just wow. Deep dive. You process it perhaps, and it seems people process differently. Yes. Idaho and Montana are very beautiful, right? You missed the crazy driving? Who wants to go for a crazy drive? Let's go. Wait, how do we go? I want to go. There we go. Doing some crazy driving. Let's go out here. Woohoo. We're crazy driving now. Who's feeling dizzy? Buckle up, everybody. We're driving around. Wow. Also, to think that he was just there. I think maybe he thought he's like there late at night or something and no one's going to notice. But they noticed. They noticed. Wow. Okay, great. I'm more Michelle. I'm going back to the beginning. I'm sorry. I'm so behind. No problem at all. So yes, that is map time. And I want to show you one more thing. Which means, hold on. Now we can play this cool one. Take a deep breath, everyone. Let's take a deep breath and relax. Okay, I'm back. Do you feel relaxed? How do you feel, everyone? I was just... oh, thank you, Rob. Thank you. An excellent driver. Ooh la la. Okay, so that's just sometimes just relax, everyone. Let's get our thoughts back. Now, if I share a screen, which would be this one, I want to just show you... I wish I could just play this whole thing. It's called Shasta Groene Survivor, and it's on KTBB. But, of course, if you play the whole damn thing, without talking in between, of course, you are going to get copyright striked. I mean, that makes sense. It's their stuff. So I don't think I can play this whole thing. And it's 23 minutes. So what I'm going to do, and I think I've already pinned it in the description, or I put it in the description box. But go check it out. I've watched it. This is a very, very good I would say, documentary or coverage of the case as well, just to see some more visuals and hear her talk. So let me actually just go forward a little bit here, then you can see her. Wait. And the dad, because everyone was asking how he had he has throat cancer. I think he survived throat cancer, so he speaks with a device now.
There won't be any closure anyway. And God willing, I'll be around for that because I'll be sitting front row center. And if I'm not around for that, then I'll have even better seats.
10 years.
Okay, also you're like, how did I miss this one? How did I miss it? You guys, I've got a Brian Enton emoji now. Yes, we have a Brian Enton emoji. That is Brian Enton. Yes, it is. The thing with these emojis, you can't make them very big, but like I did the best to make it really pop. Like that's the best I can do with a picture of him, but it's Brian Enton. Okay, so I just want to move a little bit forward so we can see her talk. This is the lady interviewing her. Big eyes.
We're worried about you. So how are you today and how are you doing?
I feel like I'm doing pretty good. I think that, I do have, bouts where I go through depression. I have PTSD and bipolar disorder. I have a lot of stuff going on in my life, but emotionally, I'm actually doing pretty good for, the things I have been through and where I could be. So
You've had a lot of healing.
yeah, I have.
Shasta is now 19 and she lives right here in the Treasure Valley. I had the opportunity to spend a few hours with her at her home in Nampa to find out how she's doing 10 years later. And what I found out, and what you're about to see in our next half hour, is that Shasta Groene is strong, resilient, and a true survivor.
She really is. So let's just see just a little bit more of this.
Can you take us back to when you were discovered at the Denny's? And if you remember anything, you were only 8 years old, but do you remember that feeling of I'm safe?
I do remember that feeling of I'm safe, but at the same time, it was just, I think I was so focused, sad about my family, but so focused on, where are my oldest brothers or where's my dad and, just stuff like that.
What happened?
Well, the cop came up to us and he asked me what my name was. And I remember feeling really scared to say anything. I remember looking at Joseph Duncan for like a, almost like a permission to answer the question. I was just really scared.
Did he give you that permission?
Well, when I had looked over at him, he kind of like nodded his head, like, yeah, go ahead.
See, so that's the version of the story I'm going to go with because she was there. She's saying it from her side. Okay, I'm not trying to throw shade at the lady, but I don't know why she makes such big eyes at her. It feels scary to me. If that lady was interviewing me, I'm like, I don't know, but it's a very good video to watch if you do want to see that. Yes. Okay, so you were saying sweet dreams. Did he do more crimes if you have time, G? Well, that's the thing. If you could vote on the poll, please, then we can figure out if you... Hold on, I'm going to do it now. Are you ready for the poll? I say you pick part 2, deep dive the killer, or part 3, move on to another case. So here comes the poll. Hold on. Are we ready? Let's see what you'll answer. Go, go, go. Everybody move. Wow. Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't say bug eyes. I know what you mean, but it's like, wow. It's Eileen Wernos eyes. I don't know. That's what I call it, but it's like... But I mean, it must be kind of, I don't know, overwhelming to ask those questions. It's great that Shasta survived and she could tell her story. I feel it does help others. Yeah, and she's apparently writing a book. I did try to research if the book was out already or not, but I found some other books about the case, but not written by her. So I'd be very eager to see when her book comes out to read that. This is the thing, Miss Dewey. I'm amazed that she can function at all. Because of such hectic trauma, but I suppose the brain is amazing coping mechanisms because there's so many cases that were so horrific where people survived that you're like, whoa, maybe we're all stronger than we think, She said one of her sons is like her brother didn't. Oh, shame. A word. Okay, let's see if you're voting. Wow. Damn, you people will be voting for that part 2, huh? Oh, my word. So yeah, we could do that. I feel so bad for her. She had to watch the monster do those awful things to her brother. I know, that's terrible. Survivor stories. We like those, right? Thank you so much, Lee Jane. Thank you very much. I'm playing catch up. Okay. So I'm just checking still your poll. There's 86 votes and there's 332 here. So if this is the vote, I think the part 2 deep dive the killer is okay. You guys are wanting that. So that will be a whole nother presentation because there's many other victims. Oh my word, like that guy. Wow. Yeah, this young lady has a special purpose in this world. I mean, she is so strong, and even though she's had some rocky times, gone to juvenile detention, she's still going. That's the point. Like, yeah, that's to be almost expected that there's going to be some rough times, and I don't know. Like, anyway, all humans make mistakes, so there's that. But especially if you have so much trauma and you're just trying to navigate your way through this world, beady eyes. Yes. That is so true, Tracy. You don't know how strong you are until being strong is the only choice you have. Yes. So I don't know if I have that still on my TikTok, but it's I had this TikTok where I say, "What doesn't kill you makes you traumatized," but it can also make you stronger, I suppose. Stronger and traumatized all at the same time. Thank you. I'm glad you love the deep dives. I'm just making sure with the vote that you guys, and then we're done. We're done for the day. You guys are definitely 69% have voted for part 2 deep dive the killer. So I'm guessing that's what I'll be doing. Wilder's last victim kept him sweet and he put it on a plane home. Damn. Get you something to drink too. I got a lot here. I got a huge glass of water over here. Yeah. That's for the relaxation time. Yes, I think that's where you're at. Okay, so 70% voted for part 2, deep dive the killer. So I guess we'll do that soon. Tomorrow, I'm going to be covering the Delphi case with Chris from The Monsters Under Our Bed. Yesterday, I was on his show, and then I was so excited afterwards, I couldn't sleep until 4:30 in the morning. Wow. So anyway, the point is, I was on his show. He did some brilliant reenactments of Bridge Guy, which actually helped to debunk some things potentially. We keep it safe, say speculatively potentially, but yeah, that was very interesting. So he's going to join me here tomorrow. I really hope to see you all here for that. I'm looking forward to it. So we're going to discuss that tomorrow, and then on Sunday we've got crime catch-up time again. On Monday we've got missing person Monday. And I'm actually a little sad about how few Grizzlies actually watch the missing person stuff, but hopefully it will gain some traction over time. It just is what it is. It's a thing on YouTube, like covering missing persons cases, like just focusing on them, deep diving them. I wish more Grizzlies would watch so that more of us could share, that we could actually like raise awareness, Sometimes I feel like I failed when it doesn't help. I really hope it will. Anyway, I just did my best. So caught it on the replay. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you guys like the recaps as well, because if I deep dive like 3 missing persons cases like we did on Monday, then I like to, make an episode for each one afterwards as a recap in case someone missed it. Yes. Like missing person Monday, we're going to do that. So Sunday is crime catch up. Monday is missing person Monday. Maybe this weekend, sometimes I like to take a little bit of time off, but maybe this weekend we'll do part 2. Otherwise, we'll do that next week. You never know. It'll take off. Thank you so much. I just really want to help. Oh my word. Okay, yes. So David Williams is like, this lady's waffling a lot. No, just like, good night, thank you. It's like, wow, the waffle time is overtime now. And patrons and members, I haven't forgotten about you, especially patrons. I'll be posting things there again soon. That's the thing. I hope to go somewhere this weekend and that the weather's not bad. It was very bad last weekend. We didn't go anywhere. So yes. If you can't catch the live, you watch the replay. Thank you. I really, really appreciate replay watches as well. Yeah, time off. What is that? Yeah. Caroline, you know me by now. What is time off? Time off is getting on a train and filming lots of stuff. Waffle, all good. Okay, so we're over now. Sorry about that. It went a little bit long, a little bit overtime. Hope you enjoyed today's case coverage. I'm guessing then, so we'll deep dive Joseph Duncan III, otherwise known as Jet. And all the other things he did, because he has a long criminal history. So yes, I sent you a flyer with my nephew on it by email. I didn't see it actually. So I looked at my emails today. So if you could you send it again to grizzlytruecrime@gmail.com? I did not see it. Interesting. No, I didn't see it. I actually do remember seeing some sort of email from you, but there was nothing I could click or see or do. So if you could just send it again, that would be great. Okay, so everybody, I hope you have a wonderful afternoon, evening, or morning ahead, whatever time it is for you. Thank you so much for being here. Absolutely. Daniel Robinson, always in my mind as a missing person. Yes, same. Yes, have my overtime every time merch. I'm so glad. And as you saw on my last slide there, here, guys, if I just show you one more time, this merch, the mug you see, it says Grizzlies keep going, and it's got a semicolon. So if you want to get yourself that, I don't know, it motivates me to think that, yeah, well, Grizzlies keep going. If that's like one of our slogans, we keep going, even on the very, very bad days, terribly down day, we keep going, So the semicolon is a representation of, my story is not over yet. It represents depression and all the things associated with it. So if you want to get that, of course, I don't just have the mug, I have a whole range for you. I also have one now called Fluent in True Crime. So make sure you check the merch store quite regularly because I upload lots of new things all the time. Okay, so that's it. Thank you again for everyone for the super stickers. Thanks to members, patrons. Thanks for the likes and the comments and everything like that. That really helps. And of course, remember that there's a little super thanks thingy. It's like a little heart with $1 in it if you wanted to super thanks the video afterwards. And of course, the most direct way to support me is on PayPal, Buy Me a Coffee, and Patreon in that order, and then YouTube membership. So yes, you did vote. Okay, let's finish the vote. Is 70% votes for part 2, Deep Dive the Killer. So the vote is closed. Part 2. We'll do that soon. Have a lovely time. Let's play our favorite intro. And I'm so glad that you like the new emojis, including the Brian Enton one. We have a Brian Enton emoji and Dexter. We have Brian Enton and Dexter. Okay, wait for it. I've got to find it. This one. Bye.